Why the Great Depression created more millionaires than ever in history. The Great Depression. We've all heard about it. For those unaware, it happened during the 1929 to 1939 era, when the entire world got entangled in severe economic depression. What does that mean? Well, everything from economic institutions to macroeconomic policy and the economic theory itself underwent significant changes. Output levels decreased, unemployment skyrocketed, and deflation created some unimaginable circumstances throughout the globe. So, how was it that the decade of Great Depression ended up creating the most millionaires in modern history? As interesting of a question that is, the answer is even more interesting. One might brush off the answer by saying that some people managed to pull through despite extremely tough economic situations, or, well, managed to turn the tide in their favor. But it has a pretty interesting rationale behind it. Ironically, the same factor that caused the economy to crash, stock, was one of the main causes of an increase in the number of affluent people during the economic crisis known as the Great Depression. Fear caused many people to sell off their stocks, which created a serious issue because the economy was running out of money as a result of everyone selling their stocks at once. This in turn causes many stocks to drop dramatically in price. Smaller groups of people then took advantage of the mass selling off to purchase equities at far lower prices. The stocks that had been bought for pennies unexpectedly started to expand after the stock market and economy steadied after a few years, eventually returning to the dollar level. As a result, the individuals who purchased the vast majority of the stocks and bonds were now able to sell them to others for much higher prices, generating enormous gains that no one could refuse. However, that's just a zoomed-in portion of a much bigger picture. There are countless individuals who made a significant amount of money during the toughest economic times in modern history. It can be simple enough to list down the examples of such individuals. For instance, when John Willard Marriott and his wife Alice Sheets Marriott launched a root beer shop in Washington, D.C., they also founded the hotel brand Marriott. Just 2 years before the stock market crisis, Marriott paid $6,000 for a 9-seat A&W root beer stand. He persisted with the business, and until 1957, the company only operated in the food sector. Today, the family has accumulated an estimated net worth of $5.7 billion, thanks to the hotel company Marriott International, which is today recognized for luxurious names like Ritz-Carlton and Renaissance. Similarly, many urban survivalist business owners set up tiny grocery stores in their homes or vacant storefronts during the Great Depression. These business owners purchased non-perishable food supplies so that, even if they were unable to sell their products, they and their families would still be able to eat and not go hungry. George Jenkins is one such example. He started a local store with the aid of some friends who contributed cash to buy shares in the business. He took a chance on a wager while the majority of people were lost in desperation. In 1930, he founded Public Supermarkets, and it was successful. It has more than 1,000 outlets across the Southeast and $29 billion in sales, adding to his family's $5.2 billion wealth. Even in the most dire financial situations, opportunity arises. In all of American history, the Great Depression saw the highest number of millionaires. Harlan David Sanders saw a chance to launch a business during this time after dropping out of school early, failing his military training, and getting dismissed from a couple jobs. In Nicholasville, Kentucky in 1924, Sanders served as general manager of a gas station that would close 6 years later. He had a lifeline in 1930 when the Shell Oil Company offered him the opportunity to run a neighboring service station for free. During a challenging moment for the nation, Sanders started selling his special fried chicken to make ends meet. And that's how the Great Depression gave birth to Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC as we know it. So what did all these and countless other individuals have in common? The answer lies in the right mindset and grit. Internal tenacity was required. This grit mindset is basically a combination of passion and tenacity for a singularly significant objective. It's a trait shared by top performers across all fields. It's the capacity to stick with something you're enthusiastic about and show tenacity in the face of challenges. This type of passion is not characterized by strong feelings or infatuation. It all comes down to commitment and direction. When you have this kind of drive, you can persevere through a challenging assignment or when the outside world seems hopeless. Without guts, skill can just be untapped potential. What's your take on the fact that many millionaires reared their heads during the Great Depression? Do share your thoughts in the comments below.